Hey, it's Dr. Charles, aka CoachMD. In my over 30 years of medical practice, I've made it my goal to help you create a great life by achieving a strong mind, a healthy body, and an unshakable spirit. What I want to talk to you today about is a myth, and this has been propagated over and over again by doctors, by lay people, by everybody, because we want it to be true. But sometimes things that we want to be true are not necessarily good for us or really the truth. So let's have a listen to this.
We've been told that having a few glasses of wine or alcohol a week can be good for us. A new study out of the UK suggests this may not be entirely true. In fact, the authors of the study say these conclusions are based on bad science, and this is the biggest myth since we were told smoking was good for us. Researchers from Anglia Ruskin University and University College London say that many non-drinkers aren't drinking because of their ill health. So when they have heart attacks or other problems, this has nothing to do with them not drinking. It also doesn't suggest that drinking a low or moderate amount of alcohol a week would prevent health problems. In their study, people who never drank were more likely to be older, had a higher BMI, and were less physically active than those who drank. The team also compared people who drank very little to those who drank a lot and found that wine, for example, protected people very little from heart disease.
So I just want to point out, we'll keep watching this, is that we tend to make associations, and in research, you're supposed to have, you're supposed to be very diligent about those associations. You're supposed to put measures in place so those associations that we may think are true are not really true. Okay, we need to sort that out because it's kind of like a child's brain, right? When our brain is growing as a child, we don't have all the life experience, and we're making all sorts of associations. For instance, let's say you're 5 years old and you spill some milk on the floor, and your parent says, "You stupid idiot, what you're so clumsy." Well, that brain processes that the association with spilled milk and you being a loser or clumsy. It's made. It's a false association, but it's an association made the same. And similarly, we tend to make associations as adults and even research for our own biases, things we want to be true. We start making associations. And this study is kind of blowing that all apart. It's showing that, yeah, guess what? What we've been told may not be really true, because we're looking at different populations who just happen not to be doing this thing, and they seem to be unhealthier. Well, they're unhealthier because they were unhealthier, and they thought that doing this was going to make them more unhealthy. So, for instance, if you had somebody who had heart disease and they stopped drinking because they thought it was bad for them, or they were obese and they stopped drinking beer because they thought it would be bad for them because of ill health. Well, those people were lumped into the category that were saying, well, they got that way because they didn't drink. And so that association was being made. So let's keep listening.
Those who drank beer, cider, and spirits in particular were more likely to end up in the hospital with cardiovascular issues.
So this is a little short video, but it kind of goes along with my experience as a doctor. The people who I saw who were in the illest of health, who were in the most ill health, happened to be people who tended to drink, tended to smoke, tended to have unhealthy lifestyles, tended to eat poorly, yet they felt that they could imbibe in alcohol because they thought it would be protective for them. But this study kind of blows that out of the water. So keep that in mind, okay? Moderation is okay. Maybe a drink every now and then, on the weekend, let's say, perhaps. Binge drinking is terrible for you. Drinking every night is not good for you, no matter what anybody says. And the study went on to show that those who were drinkers on a regular basis, actually their brain was affected negatively and brain cells were damaged because alcohol is a toxin to our bodies. It's not something. It's not an elixir. It's toxic for our body, and so it's important to understand that again, moderation is the key. But you have to understand also that when we say moderation, you have to be honest with yourself. And when I say, for instance, somebody should watch what they eat carefully and be honest with themselves. So if I said that, let's say you should only eat red meat once a week, well, that once a week easily becomes twice a week, becomes 3 times a week, and the same thing with alcohol. And the way it works is, let's say I'm telling you now that, well, occasionally you can drink once a week. So that once a week becomes a Saturday night. You have a couple drinks on Saturday night, right? Well, Sunday comes around and you say it's a new week. Okay, so you have a couple drinks on Sunday. It's a new week, right? And I said once a week. Well, okay, Thursday comes around and you say, well, it's close enough to the next week. I can have another drink on Thursday night. So you start drinking on Thursday night. Well, then Saturday comes around and you say, well, it's close to that next week again. I'll kind of parlay that right to the next week. So you could see how easily it could become 2, 3, 4, 5 nights a week you're drinking. And that has detrimental effects on your health going forward. So keep that in mind. Because again, I'm urging you to stay strong in mind, in body, and in soul. And that doesn't happen when we try to use elixirs to try to create that. It's about creating a life that's strong in and of itself, where you don't need something else to make it that way. So let me know what you think and subscribe to my channel. Until next time, I'm Dr. Charles, aka CoachMD, urging you to do that. Bye for now.
Dr. Charles, CoachMD. Thanks for stopping by. Make sure to like and comment below. I'd love to hear from you. If you think you have a friend who might benefit from this video, share it with them. For access to exclusive content, support my Patreon. There you'll get private access to videos, meditations, health tips, even relationship and financial tips. You'll have a say in what I produce and be able to participate in a monthly call with me. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. See you soon.